Kia ora, welcome back again, everybody. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for your time. We're here for another reaction to the Soldiers of Fortune one. There's been a few comments come through and messages, emails, a few memories for a lot of people in that as well, who were doing a fair bit of work during this time, and appreciate the comment that I got from one of the guys that spoke very highly of NAMS, who passed away, which was in the early part of this video. So let's jump back into this.
Well, Baghdad's a big city. I mean, it's about 5 million people. Yeah, and there are a lot of security companies here. And of course, because of that, there's a lot of New Zealanders here. Unfortunately, just recently, one of them got killed, and that was, very unfortunate. But it's just the nature of this game. And the more people that want to come over and do this, the higher the stakes or the percentages that more New Zealanders will get killed over here. Because once you are here, unfortunately, you are here until either you die or you have done your rotation and go home.
It's a fairly, very raw and honest, but also some might say bleak way of looking at it. But that is the reality, and I, absolute respect for Baz, for Barry, and the way that he's speaking. He's just speaking from the heart, speaking the truth. It is tragic and it is sad, especially when one of the Kiwis, or from where you're from back home, has passed away. Same for the Australians, same for the Americans, same for the Brits, same for the South Africans. The list goes on. But yeah, that is and was one of the realities in terms of working in that space going away.
The situation in Iraq is unusual in that you've got a military occupation going on with traditional troops, and you've also got a reconstruction program going on. So in order to keep the reconstruction process secure, at least somewhat secure, there are literally thousands of foreigners who have come there to work as security contractors. Now, typically a security contractor is someone with about, let's say 5, 10, 15 years in the military, probably between late 20s to early 50s, somebody who probably has skills that are completely worthless in the real world, but are obviously in demand in a high-risk environment.
Geez, that's a bit harsh, eh? Has skills that are probably completely worthless in the real world. Hey, maybe that's the truth. But I think also in that there was definitely, at least for me, a perception that the skills and knowledge and experience that I had from soldiering, I definitely could connect with what that guy just said. But when I hear it, I just feel a little bit like, oh, come on, mate. Like, our skills that we have or that we've developed could be used elsewhere. And I'm grateful, even though I had that mindset, I thought, man, I can't think of anything else that I can do once I left the unit. Like, private security was a natural progression. It just so happened that the money that came with it was also a real nice bonus. But I definitely had feelings of, I don't know what else I could do out in Civvy Street, out of the Defence Force. So hearing this guy also be very, very truthful and blunt from his perspective as well, really does put things into perspective, because maybe that is something, maybe that is something in which the way the rest of the world or other organizations or companies outside of the military, maybe that is how they perceive soldiers or former soldiers. I don't know. But the other part that I'll say, he spoke about, I think he mentioned that maybe you would have about 15 years experience soldiering. No, I didn't have that amount of experience. Only did just under 11 years all up in the Defence Force. That's both New Zealand and Australian Defence Force time combined. So definitely nowhere near 15 years for me. But also there was all other aspects in regards to some of the types of people that were going there. And I'm fortunate. The company that I worked with, they only employed, at the time, ex-British or Kiwi SAS operators and some Australian operators that were there as well later on down the track. But I was yeah, very grateful to be working there, because I'd heard some of the stories, and again, this is second, third, fourth, maybe 10th hand by the time it's got into me, right? But of people that didn't have any military experience, some people that were, the stories go around, there were people that were nightclub bouncers that got over there, got an opportunity to get over there and to make some money and that sort of stuff, but had no sort of military or tactical or even weapons in some cases, other than maybe shooting out on their properties. That stuff really, when I heard that, I was just even more grateful for where I was and knowing the caliber of the men that I was surrounded by. I was just very, very grateful for that. Oh, I was also grateful when I'd bump into some of the Kiwi lads from my infantry time as well. Man, that was awesome to see them, because knowing them and knowing that they have skill and they have competence in that as well, and that they were amongst other Kiwis and other Brits and that within their team, at least where they were at the time, the guys at CRG and Armour Group and stuff like that. It was cool to see them. It's really good. DynCorp, I think, was another company where guys were. Yeah, DynCorp, I think, was another one of those companies where people were. So it was, you were bumping into a lot of people in and around the traps, and a lot of Kiwis, and it was awesome.
The last trip he was back, he said, if I die over there, it's because I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's not because the team don't know their job. They know how to protect themselves and protect the people that they're employed to protect, and they're very good at it.
Man, just hearing Nam's wife recount the kōrero, or the conversation that she had with her man, with her tāne, with her husband. Clearly, very, very switched on individual, aware of the risks. She clearly was aware of the risks in that as well. But it may not mean anything, and it may be very little in terms of consolation or anything like that. I don't know the right words to share with it, but I'm just glad that he had that conversation with her, and that she recalls that conversation. And just to hear, and this lines up, just listening to her speak, this lines up with the kōrero that I've heard so far about just the high praise and the respect and the acknowledgement that Nam's peers had for him. Just confirms for me, just through her kōrero, right? Like she said, that he told her he's in the, if anything happens, it's because he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's not because of the people that he's with. They're all very, very good at their job. So I'm glad that he was with a good team. And yeah, not a lot you can do about IEDs that go off next to you, and or mines and that sort of stuff that people might drive over and just annihilates or obliterates the vehicle that you're in. So yeah, tough, but nice to hear her speak and to know that they had a conversation about the reality that this could happen.
Are you happy with your smoking barrel? That's what you call training.
I asked him, why did you employ my husband? And he said, because he had the goods. He had what it took. They used to actually specifically ask for him. Clients used to ask for him to transport him from one place to another. And over there, that's a big thing, because they felt safe with him.
This is the pinnacle, this is the top of the triangle of working PSD in the world. If you come over here with the wrong qualifications, the wrong training, and the wrong attitude, this will be your first and last contract.
That's really nice to hear too, what Nam's wife was saying again. Funny to see the footage and stuff there, them getting some training in on the range, vehicle contact drills, all that sort of stuff, which is cool. But what really stuck out to me was, the employer that had employed NAMS in the first place, and also hearing the clients that would want NAMS in their team, or would want him to be either leading or part of that group that's taking the clients back and forward to the places where they needed to get to. And I experienced a fair bit of that as well, like having the privilege to work with the teams that I was with. But clients being, and for me personally, so not only clients being happy with guys that I was working with being in the team and the team leaders that were looking after our team with Pilgrims, but it was also like for all of them, but for me, it was very, very reassuring, and a feeling of just real confidence and peace, calm, like for doing that job and traveling in and around Baghdad, even going to some places where, you know, you'd be a little bit more on edge and a lot more situationally aware going into some of those areas. But knowing that I was with guys, and, you know, clearly people would have felt the same with NAMs, not only the operators, but clearly the clients. I felt like that as an operator with the other operators that I was with, if that makes sense. It's an awesome, a very reassuring and calming feeling anyway. Confidence boosting, yeah.
Attacks like these are the daily threats that Kiwis working as PSDs, or personal security details, face in Iraq. Despite their years of military experience, it is often little help against the lethal power of a roadside bomb. At other times, the calm approach of professional military skills can save lives, as the Kiwi team find out when they join a routine reconnaissance patrol being put in place for US news network CBS. These patrols enable Western journalists to carry out their work despite the constant threats in this city.
Just found out that they could be going down the area where there was a couple of IEDs this morning. That's Sadoon Road or Sadoon Street. So they need to do a route recce. So we're going to jump in, have a look down there. If it's too bad, we'll find another route or come back. If it's okay, we'll continue down, and that'll be the way that they will go to their meeting the next day or two.
We're mobile.
These advanced patrols serve to ensure that when a security contractor's client is moved, that all routes are checked in advance and potential threats accounted for.
You know what could happen. So you have to prepare yourself. And for me, I mentally prepare myself by putting myself in a cocoon almost. It seems that everywhere I turn is another thing about Iraq. You know, what's going on there, the bombs that are going off there. I've spoken to Barry on the phone when a bomb has gone off while we've been on the phone. It's like the Wild West to these guys. That's how they see it. They have no problem doing it. You know, so they go, and the women, you know, the wives or the girlfriends really do worry because they may not come home.
It's cool that they've interviewed Barry's wife, and it's great to get her insight and her perspective. You know, listening to her, it sort of brings home for me some of the conversations that I've then since had with my wife about different things, and just sort of the strain and pressure and stress that I put her through, and just things that I completely took for granted, right? So those people that have been reaching out and asking questions about wanting to go on selection or wanting to join the unit, and they've got young families and this, that, and the other in relation to their relationships and families and children, or about to have children. Yeah, it's a difficult space, or can be a difficult space to be in, depending on what your spouse or partner is like, and obviously depending on what you're like as well. Like I've shared, I was real selfish and stubborn, like I was just fixated on where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. I'm going to the Special Air Service, and that's with or without you. You've said that you love me, you're going to stick by me. I've said that I love you, yet we're going to do this, but I need to get here first. You've said that you would never ask me to leave. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I haven't made it there yet, so now I'm going to Australia. So are you coming or not? You know, just, I didn't speak to my wife that way, but if I, you know, just be real about it in my own head, that's how selfish I was about it. That's how fixated tunnel vision I was on where I wanted to go. Right or wrong, that's what I did. And gratefully, she stuck by me. She worried. She looked after the children. People have people are like, oh man, you got 6 children. How did you manage that? How did you, maintain the home? I was like, everybody that I've spoken to, bro, I didn't maintain the home. My wife did. She held everything down. She sorted the kids, enrolled them in school, enrolled them in sport, took them to and from their activities. She still does that today for our ones that are a bit older and nearing the end of their high school, while the other 4 have left. She did everything. The Medicare stuff, the medical appointments, when they got injured, when they were sick, like she was holding down all of that. That's a bit later. That's not even including the the breastfeeding and all that sort of stuff, and the nappy changing and just everything, the shopping, the bills, the cars, the Warren of Fitnesses, all that, everything and more, so I didn't hold any of that down. My wife did that. I chimed in. If anything, I probably made more of a mess, bloody being a hoha when I'd come back and all of a sudden thinking, I've been away now. Okay, kids can stay home. Wife's like, no. They've got a routine here. They've got a routine for when they get up in the morning, what they need to do. They've got a routine at night. Don't you bloody come back and then go and change all of that or disrupt it. They've got sports coming up. They've got camps coming up. They've got this, that, and the other thing that they've got to do. You just wait. Like, you've been away doing what you need to do. Yep, get it. You're back now. You've missed us. We've missed you too. But this life still carries on. So I was grateful she wasn't that blunt or mean to me when I would do things like that, and I did get time to allow the kids to have time with the kids. But those, again, the things that I just took for granted, and it is something that I think anybody looking to go into that space or into that type of work just needs to be mindful of as best you can, because not everybody will be fortunate or blessed or privileged to have somebody like Barry's wife, or in my case, somebody like mine who's stuck beside me through some very difficult times, and including some very selfish times on my part. So, yeah, anyway.
We're on green and towards red 10.
There's been so many attacks on this roundabout here. Car bombs against scuttled. Yeah, many car bombs around here. Big ones against SUV convoys.
Just listening to the spots being called. I think I said red 10 to blue something or other. But yeah, the means of keeping comms with base, so that they know where you are and they can just sort of follow you along the maps, should they need to try to activate some type of QRF or emergency response.
And we're now coming onto Sadoon Street, and it looks okay. The police are behind us. We've got a police car coming up behind us.
Roger that, mate.
It's surreal. I'm smiling just looking at the scenery in Baghdad. Like, all of that stuff looks real familiar, and I can just, it's like just being, for me, teleported back in time, and I can see myself sitting in the car looking at these same things. I remember seeing the benzene lines, the petrol lines queued up along the sides of the streets, vehicles just waiting. It looks just like everything just looks like that. It just looked brown, it looked dirty, it looked, just war-torn. You see some of the buildings, and you would have seen some of the buildings in the background, and Barry's been speaking, and other people that just look half blown out. Bullet holes riddled through everything. Man, it's just a bit surreal just looking at all of that, and having a whole flood of memories coming back, driving through certain parts and areas, that large roundabout that they spoke about, and then you saw some video footage of, just some regular hotspots, so to speak, in terms of having a look at watching this footage again. Thank you to those that sent this this video through and requesting a reaction to it. Yeah, there's a lot to this. Maybe this could have been one of those react with me ones with some of the other guys that have been there as well, and just hearing their input and their perspective.
Police car that just been past with sirens going and going quite fast. What it does, however, is it advertises their presence and the fact that they're coming down the road, and insurgents who are always waiting for someone to attack will hear them coming and throw a hasty ambush. And bad for them, it's actually quite good for companies like ourselves, because what the whole idea of this game is to make yourself that inconspicuous and blend in that they go and pick on somebody else and they don't even see you.
The reason there's so much concrete here is to go on the right is the Baghdad Hotel, and that has been attacked many, many times before the concrete went up.
I don't know who was doing the concreting, but that must have been a good gig in terms of the concrete blast walls, reinforced concrete blast walls that were being done. I remember being in country, speaking with some of the lads about, I suppose some of whether it was being done by locals or whatever, but there were opportunities there, even down to armoured vehicles. So I share this, there were conversations, and some of the guys were, pretty entrepreneurial. I saw at least some of the guys in the team that I was in, fortunate to be in with Pilgrims. They managed to leverage their knowledge, skills, competence, not only in soldiering, but also negotiation, gift of the gab type stuff, and business. So that I think some of the guys ended up having a handful of armored vehicles that they also then hired out to companies, which would pay a daily rate to have those armored vehicles, and bloody good on them, smart. If I had been quicker or smarter, maybe I could have jumped on board or done something similar, but that wasn't. That it was always temporary for me. I was never looking to do the PSD stuff long term, the private security details. I was never looking to do that long term. It was there just to serve a purpose in time for what we needed with regards to chopping down the mortgage and all that sort of stuff. And then I knew I was going to need to try to find something back in Australia. And thankfully things sort of worked out in that direction. But hearing them speak about the police and that, and signalling themselves, one of the values or benefits of trying to kick around as low profile as you can is because you want to try to blend in for as long as you can, and then hopefully, if there are any spotters looking to try to an opportune target, if hopefully by the time you or they clock you, if they do, hopefully it's too late, they've had to take a double or triple take and you're already gone. And so then hopefully it's a part of the risks that you take when you're stepping into that game and that low profile approach. Anyway, I found it to be quite good. There's nothing more obvious than the big up armored vehicles, blasting your horn, signage on there, person in the back with the gun facing towards traffic behind them that announces that you're some sort of foreign force in this country. We don't like you, so we're going to clack this thing just as you drive past this or just as you drive over that. So high risks, high stakes, but that's part of the game. Hey, sorry about that. I just had a visitor, just a awesome guy. He brought me this. Okay, so he said I need to get up on my history on the New Zealand regiment, and the New Zealand Originals book, pretty thick book. It's got the author on the back here, this gentleman, and that happened whilst I was doing my reaction to the video here, Soldiers of Fortune. But just beautiful, man. Just very, very grateful. He's one of the kind supporters of this channel, members, And yeah, just blown away. Anyway, I think I'm going to pause this one here for this reaction. I'll have to edit this because I had to stop, and then now that's going to take me a bit of time to sort of work out how to merge that together, but I should be able to figure it out. But I appreciate you, Zay. Appreciate you all, whether you're a member of the channel or not, whether you just come along for the piece at the end, or this piece at the end, the wrap up, or whether you come to just have a bit of a laugh along the way. I'm not sure whether you're here to get, maybe you get a little bit more out of it, or a bit more insight or understanding in and around some of the stuff that that I react to based on my 2 cents. But whatever it is that draws you here, or whatever it is that brings you here to spend some of your valuable time here on my channel, just know that I genuinely appreciate it. I sincerely appreciate any time that you choose to give. And then when you go the extra and you leave comments in that as well, and then those that have been kind enough to join and become members, man, thank you very, very much. That being said, I've got some other homework to do now, thanks to Mike dropping this off. Shout out, Mike. Thank you very much, brother. Really appreciate you. And apparently there's some Oreos that have been planted in the letterbox, which I didn't know. So I'm going to have to go and investigate that. And maybe I'll take the camera with me and see if there are. But appreciate you all. Any challenges, trials, struggles that you are going through, please know that you are not alone. Know that everybody's going through challenges and trials and struggles, including me, including people that you know, including people that you work with. They may be different. They may be not quite the same as what you may be going through or what I may be going through, but they're nonetheless valid. They're nonetheless difficult and sometimes hard to face and or deal with. So I just encourage you to keep turning up, to keep staying in the fight, to go always a little further, to know and trust that the sun will shine again, to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. As long and as dark as that tunnel may seem, and it may seem like you can't see any light at the end, just keep putting one foot forward in front of the other, keep taking another step, and I promise you, you will get closer to that light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, that's all I want to share at this time. Thank you once again. Appreciate you all. Until the next video, a big manawa from me to you, filled with my aroha, respect, appreciation, and gratitude.